Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Acosta accuses Trump of mentioning Hillary's Uranium One deal as a distraction. Sanders crushes him. It is becoming more and more clear that Hillary was so intent on accusing Trump of colluding with Russia because she was the one who really colluded with Russia. As we are seeing, there is more evidence that Hillary colluded with Russia than Trump. But CNN's drama queen Jim Acosta tried to accuse Trump of using the Uranium One investigation as a way to distract from his own. Sarah Sanders crushed him. I was wondering, why does the president involve himself in the Uranium One investigation? Are you trying to gin up your own Russia investigation to rival the one up on Capitol Hill? And where is the president's evidence that Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians, as he tweeted this morning? Asked Acosta. In terms of the president being involved, I'm not aware of any specific involvement. The president has pushed for transparency, if that's what you're referring to, when dealing with Congress. I know that's probably something new for a president to actually push for transparency, but that's what he's done. And that was the purpose of what he was trying to do in that process, responded Sanders. How about evidence of collusion that Hillary? Sarah, no, the president made a charge that Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians, said Acosta. I think I've addressed that pretty thoroughly, she responded. Check out the video below.
Behar calls all Trump supporters white supremacists and suggests a violent way to end them. Behar left The View for a night to be a panelist on Bill Maher's show with CNN's Van Jones. On the panel, Behar seemed even more over the top and ridiculous than usual. She called Trump supporters white supremacists and suggested violent action against them. Behar attacked Van Jones, who seemed to want a more peaceful solution. You're the first perpetrator of this. He wants the kumbaya. FCK your kumbaya. These people on that side are crazy. Don't you understand? They're crazy. You don't deal with white supremacists. I'm done talking to him, I'm talking to you, said Behar. When they go low we should go lower, said Behar. Jones defended himself. All I'm saying is we got a great circle that includes women and Muslims, everybody. Jewish people. We need to get the circle bigger to take it away from them. And I'll tell you what, if you don't go and we don't go, the Nazis will go. And I'm not going to do that in my country, said Jones. Behar then described a new book that she wrote about President Trump called The Great Gas Bag. I wrote it for anti-Trumpers. If you are a Trump supporter, don't buy the book. I forbid you to buy the book, said Behar. Trust me. None of them wanted to buy it anyway.
Hey CNN, quick question for you. After calling Ed Gillespie a white supremacist, CNN crushed by unexpected source. CNN contributor and Hillary Clinton ex-spokesman Brian Fallon made an outrageous claim against Virginia nominee for governor Ed Gillespie. Look at Ed Gillespie campaign strategy meeting, tweeted Fallon with a photo of a group of white supremacists in Charlottesville. That isn't merely a reach. It's practically libel. Gillespie has repeatedly and passionately condemned white supremacists and other creatures that have crawled out from under the alt-right rock, the Times-Dispatch continued. Linking him to them requires the following absurd logic. 1. Donald Trump said some stupid things about Charlottesville. 2. Trump is a Republican. 3. Gillespie is a Republican. 4. Therefore, Gillespie supports racial hate, writes a Richmond editorial. CNN has recently released an ad talking about how they are all about the facts. They displayed a picture of an apple, claiming that an apple is an apple no matter how many times you call it a banana. It explained that you can't just call an apple a banana and make that be truth, because facts matter. If only they listened to their own advice. Even BuzzFeed made fun of CNN for this. "Hey CNN, quick question for you," wrote BuzzFeed. They then mocked the commercial with a knock-knock joke. The best came from the NRA. "This is a lemon. Some people might try to tell you that it's a journalist, that it's not biased, that it retains journalistic integrity after baselessly accusing our president of inciting civil war. Yeah, some people might try to tell you that this is a journalist. They might even scream 'journalist, journalist, journalist' over and over again. They might put 'journalist' in all caps. But this is a lemon. Its network colluded with a Democratic presidential candidate. Its colleague gave debate questions to Hillary Clinton. Don't be fooled. This is not a journalist. This is a lemon. A bitter lemon," they wrote. Election campaign experts expose proof that Hillary knew about funding the Trump dossier. It has been proven that Hillary Clinton's campaign funded the disproven Trump dossier that claimed that Trump went to Russia and hired prostitutes to urinate on him. However, Hillary is trying to claim she had no idea that her campaign and the DNC did this. Two election campaign experts at the New York Post proved with pretty good evidence that Hillary Clinton is lying. One of us served as a campaign strategist and advisor for as many as 4 decades, and the other served as an elected official for 25 years, explained Douglas E. Shane and Andrew Stein. With both of us having extensive experience in campaign budgetary decision-making, the suggestion that top officials in the Clinton campaign, including Clinton herself, and the DNC weren't fully aware of the research that their general counsel was commissioning strains credulity, they wrote. With more than 380 payments from the Clinton campaign and the DNC being made to Perkins Coie, it is seemingly impossible that the candidate herself would not have direct knowledge of the purpose of those payments or any earmarks being made, especially those for Fusion GPS, they continued. Again, we have both operated in campaign settings of this nature before as strategists and as candidates, and for this significant amount of money, the candidate would fully understand its use and must authorize its purpose, they continued. Do you think that Hillary Clinton is a huge liar? Chris Wallace exposes truth about Trump and the Uranium One deal that no Democrat wants to admit. For months, Democrats have been accusing President Trump of colluding with the Russians with very little evidence. However, now it appears that they may have been covering for themselves. Maybe the reason they want to make it look like Trump colluded with Russians was because they don't want to admit it was really Hillary who did. Fox's Chris Wallace told a very bold truth that Democrats do not want to admit. The fact that Hillary Clinton or at least her campaign and the DNC was doing business with a foreign national, a British spy to get information from the Russians for this dossier certainly blunts the idea, started Wallace. Well, it was the Trump campaign and it was outrageous the Trump campaign had anything to do with the Russians to maybe affect at the election because this is far more evidence we've ever seen involving President Trump and his campaign that the Democrats were directly involved in trying to get information from the Russians to affect the 2016 campaign, said Wallace. Both things could be true that both sides were trying to get aid from the Russians and it seems true the Russians were playing both sides to try to disrupt the election. We have to wait and see, he explained. But there is more evidence at this point of Democratic collusion with the Russians than there is a Republican collusion with the Russians, he said. Do you think that Wallace is right? Fetish patriotism. Bill Maher mocks people who respect the police and national anthem. Bill Maher went on a huge rant against people who support our police and our national anthem. He called it fetish patriotism. He also called Fox News the axis of evil. Someone must tell me why the people who wrap themselves in the flag are always the ones most clueless about what it represents. Like the way Trump turned a respectful protest about police brutality into a patriotism pissing match. The nerve of these young black men kneeling while an American Idol runner-up sings the bombs bursting in air song, said Maher. How dare you exercise your freedoms while we're honoring them? We will not stand for not standing. Trump literally said that soldiers have died and we need to stand because they were fighting for our national anthem. Oh, for FCK's sake, no one ever died for the anthem, he said. But I thought this was America. This impulse to tell people not to protest against the police, not to question the generals, this is not American. And that is the problem with all the fetish patriotism. It starts with goosebumps, but it ends with goose steps, he said. Or maybe those people just understand what the flag represents and how police put their lives on the line every day to protect us. And here is his stupid opinion on Fox News. The real problem to me is that Fox News has become state TV. They were always, of course, Republican. It's different now, as all things with Trump, it's worse. And this is a very bad axis of evil.